what's everybody's thoughts on Disney Plus?
The amount of original Disney movies was tragic. They were all like the 5 years
Like
after.
there weren't
and stuff.
enough?
Yeah,
It
were the
hit
5
my
years
sweet
after.
spot perfectly.
There was
the mid
there
2000s
Brink?
ones. I loved it was
There wasn't any mid 2000s ones.
what like Luck of the Irish and Brink and all 3 Xenon movies.
I missed all
And-
of those.
Yep, if
Did it have the
have to go
13th year?
like explore, and then there's a by decades. There's a 1990s, a 2010s, and a 2000s list.
Ooh.
Oh, I missed all of that.
I didn't buy Disney Plus.
We didn't either. We're using Ian's.
Yeah, I figured it's finally my turn to like submit a streaming service to the pile.
We were
Share the
gonna
wealth.
sign up for it because we heard it came with Hulu, but it was only the ad version of Hulu,
Right.
and only losers use the ad
I
version of Hulu.
have the ad version of Hulu. It's an economic choice.
Yeah, it's an economic choice because it means you spend a lot less time watching Hulu, so you get other things done. So have you watched The Mandalorian yet?
No,
No.
I need to.
It's bad.
Really,
I've heard
weird
only that
way.
it's good.
I've heard multiple people very strongly say very different things.
It's so what it is it's a Star Wars themed show that is a Disney show for kids ish.
Oh, no.
It's not kidsy, but it's like there's the production quality. There's something missing from the production quality, and like the acting is minimal. It's supposed to be kind of like serialized Old West shorts, right? Kind of thing.
Okay, I
And
like
That sounds cool.
but the way it's shot, the way it's lit, the way the acting is done is it doesn't match Star Wars at all. Like it doesn't it doesn't feel like any other Star Wars product. It feels kind of like a high budget fan Star Wars film, which is probably what it is.
Like
I mean,
Solo?
Solo has way bigger budget than this. It's got to be like this. It has to be. I think what it is. I went in expecting like a Netflix level show, which is just a movie for 8 hours, and it's
Well, the trailer made it look like it was going to be like very cinematic. And
yeah, the trailer did look really cinematic.
it's just the way like it's not as cinematic as I was expecting it. Now the
Maybe
effects
it's
are
just
there.
the pilot.
It could be. It's just y'all should watch it and get like
Yeah, we'll
I
watch
enjoyed
it.
it. I enjoyed it. It's just
Yeah.
it was weird because I was expecting something else.
I really like the idea of Star Wars, but dislike almost all the Star Wars movies. So I'm
Yeah.
like mildly interested in seeing a series that goes a totally different route, and maybe I'll like it then.
Actually-
Star Wars universe and like general themes and sort of characters are all pretty interesting, but actual Star Wars movie are pretty insufferable for me. I didn't grow up watching
I
them,
was
so.
just thinking about this recently, actually.
Oh wait, are
and-
we
and just
supposed to
thinking
introduce
about
the podcast?
I'll get to it in a minute.
Okay.
I was just thinking about how most Star Wars properties don't really live up to their own hype.
Never.
And I think that's
Including
why it
the
had
first
such
ones.
a right. I think that's why it had such a popular expanded universe or whatever, the Star Wars
right.
extended universe, because everybody was super into the idea, but it was like the creators of the idea never really knew what to
under-delivering.
do with it.
Yeah.
It's like Skyrim, right? Like this is a wonderful base on which to build a bajillion mods.
Yes.
Like,
yeah.
The actual joy here is not in the base product, except that it exists for us to do this with it.
Yeah, I agree.
Maybe.
Every time I see like one of the original Star Wars movies, I'm always like, well, this could have been a lot better.
Well, I still like them because of the nostalgia factor, but I do
Yeah.
think that's mostly what drives those. Because and again,
It is.
I do still argue for their historical significance, but I think just looking at them flatly based on like the promise they have compared to what we actually got, they almost always underdeliver at
so-
least a little bit.
There's
Yeah.
a thing like I've been like I noticed everyone, this is really the exact feeling I got watching The Mandalorian is like aside from like how good a movie is and how well it performed at what it was trying to do, like there's a certain feeling I get when I start watching a movie it's just very binary, like either this is good enough or it isn't, and I adjust my expectations like accordingly. Like I remember watching Days of Future Past, and in like the first 25 seconds I'm like, oh, this isn't as good a movie as I thought it was. Okay, and then the rest of the time I tried to enjoy it as a not as good kind of movie.
Sure.
But the entire budget is thrown into the first like 5 minutes of that movie.
Yeah, that's just it. It's not even always how much money's spent on it. It's like, did this editor do what I expect my editors to do cinematically, or like, is this writing?
It's just you can kind of
existent.
tell how much they cared. I
Or
guess
just,
when
I
they
mean,
were doing it.
I don't want to say how much they cared. I'm sure lots of people can care a lot and still suck at things. I
That's
do that.
fair.
I do that with a lot of different aspects of my
Future
life.
Past cared.
It cared
Maybe,
perhaps
yeah,
too
okay.
much.
I think that Apocalypse is where they stopped caring.
I agree.
See, I stopped caring after Days of Future Past and didn't watch anything
So
past it.
let's intro before I transition us into
Hi, everybody.
X-Men.
Welcome to Oops All Tangents, the podcast where we talk about nothing in particular. Welcome to all of our new patrons, because we have like 500 new people.
Yay!
We're recording several of these at once so that we have some to put up. We're not really doing Superhero Chicken Fest quite as often right now because we have a bunch of other stuff going on, but this is a
that
Patreon
podcast
reward.
we put out once every 2 months will now be less frequent.
We kept up with it for about 2 months. We were releasing every other week, and then we stopped again. So
What we
here we
need-
are. How many podcasts do we have now? Like 5.
It's just like, we should make a podcast about how to make a failed podcast, and then just
The only reason
this
we
is
don't do
fine.
podcasts though is because of the setup, which isn't hard, but it's just
No.
enough to keep
we
us
just
from
need a
doing it.
studio
Once
room.
we have an office,
we just
we'll
had
have a podcast room.
If we just have a podcast room, we could all just go sit down
Yeah.
and talk about things, and then they would happen all the damn time because
That's
I'd be in
true.
there constantly.
Yeah. And then we just need somebody else to throw them at and be like, finish this, send me the audio file.
Exactly. Go just send like John and Jeffrey in a room and be like, have fun, stay on topic. Expect
Yeah.
them to not do that and then post it anyway.
That's
just
Jeffrey and
just shove
Jojo.
people in there. Actually, we really should consider
Yes.
getting an office at this point. We have an editor, we have 2 writers.
Maybe
We're gonna
after
need a
the guards
podcast
themselves.
room.
Okay,
It'd be worth looking
yes.
into after the guards
We can
themselves.
talk about an office after the guards themselves.
Yeah.
Again.
Agreed. Agreed.
It is getting a little bit more valuable just because we have more people being brought. So yeah, actually updates like for the people, since only patrons can listen to this, we can actually just talk about behind the scenes stuff because that's
Oh,
the
sure,
whole point.
yeah.
But at the moment we are resting at almost 10,000 a month. Which, if it stays that way, allows us to hire on Ricky to be running the channel, which is we have started doing.
Hey,
and
guys.
hiring on
I
Matt.
can't focus a camera.
It's okay. It's
Well,
okay.
You're getting there.
Everybody has to misfocus on one sketch, and it's got to be the sketch they love the most.
You know?
Kyle literally had a focus in most sketches.
That is
Like
true.
from the early days.
I think it wasn't even that I was out of focus that really impressed me. It's how in focus
And
those
then-
trees were.
Oh
They
no,
were
I know.
so
It
in
completely- It
focus.
actually just reverse focused on the
Right.
background
Like,
instead of you.
It looked like you pasted me in badly
Yeah.
because of how.
And then Major is just like posting like
No, with major critiquing.
Major's
doesn't know how not to.
He's posting like, "I love you, Major. Keep donating to Patreon and running our thing." He's just like, "Yeah, look, here's my camera. I can just spin it all the way to unfocused, and that's what it looks like." And it's like, and then this is focused, and this is unfocused, and I was like, I know.
To be specifically super fair to you, that camera is the worst camera to focus in the entire world. It has like an 1.5-inch screen that has fewer pixels than it ought.
Yeah.
There's like a little tear in the plastic. We need to figure out how to get a monitor hooked up.
I
to
would
it.
I would recommend continuing to use autofocus and then making
you're not
sure
gonna
it's still
be-
focused when the battery cuts
No,
out. 'cause
it'll be easier.
that
I'm
changes
learning. I'm learning.
Oh, that was the old camera, wasn't
Yeah,
it?
yeah.
What was the old
But
camera?
anyway, we
yeah.
also have Ian on to be helping with writing and also show up on
Yay.
set when possible. And
Yay.
then Matt's being paid full time for editing all the sketches.
And he's amazing.
And he did freaking great with the video this time.
Yeah.
It
And
was
he did
so
great
good.
with the trick or treat one too.
Yeah, no, he did really good. I
Did you
actually did
go
like a
watch that
second-
video?
I-
Not
on-
enough of you did.
On the trick or treat one, I did a second editing pass on that and did most of the audio work. But on the Pokemon one, I didn't really change anything.
Yeah,
he submitted
did
it
a
to
great
me.
job.
I went and like smoothed some of the volumes, and Allison colored it. But that's all we did here.
Yeah.
I like
Everything
the
else was his.
the Toxel graphics. Those were great.
Yeah, that was great.
Yeah.
The effect, the green screen effect at the end, he did that. I didn't do any of it.
Cool.
So yeah,
Yeah, super impressed.
nailed
What we're
it.
gonna do is we're gonna very slowly, like push him beyond his comfort zone on After Effects, just with tiny little stupid requests. At least as good at doing special effects as you are. And
He
then
didn't even use After Effects. That was in Premiere.
Okay, first off, we're gonna get him a copy of After Effects, and then we're gonna. Can you paste me onto the moon just for a quick gag?
How long has Matt even been our friend and we didn't even like think of like, oh, we need an editor. Oh, how about the one who edits?
I didn't know
Who's
he
an
edited.
editor?
editing?
I've only just started becoming like friends with Matlock this year. For a long time, he was just somebody we called up to be in our videos.
Yeah.
And this year we started actually hanging out with him more and learned like more about him. I went to school with him, but I didn't talk to people at school because I
Yeah.
was a social outcast at the time by
Yeah.
Because
choice.
film school is about not networking.
Did he finish?
That's just my life.
Did he finish at the
Right.
Art
Me
Institute?
too.
Did he graduate?
Yeah, he did.
Did he go for editing?
I mean, you just took the same filmmaking course
Okay.
everybody did.
That's fair.
Everybody gets editing
is-
jobs
right.
afterwards.
Editing
Yeah.
is just like the most common. It's just like there's just a lot of raw editing that needs to be
Yeah.
done in really like boring ways. Right?
In
Not
the
everyone-
world,
man.
the whole world
Yeah.
just needs to be edited.
Not
Yeah.
everyone
That's
sticks
why
with
I'm
it though,
here.
but he actually does freelance editing, and we didn't learn that till this year. And then I was talking about how we really need an editor, and Allison was like, "Matlock edits." And I was like, "Oh crap, he's also funny. We should talk to him."
I also think, like, I mean, specifically, like, there's a whole history of whether or not we should have delegated anything or away from you so you could sleep and not die at any point in time. But editing was always like neck and neck with writing as like your part of it.
It was a tough, because that's where the video gets made, and I had I wrote for the edit. I knew what was supposed to happen in it. Is the part that I had so much experience in editing that pretty much nobody in the crew would be able to get there fast enough.
Right, and I think you just have like a natural like eye for it and edge for it. So
yeah, but I think he showed in this last one that he also does. So that's cool.
I think he also just like realized that we put too much effort into my costume for like no reason, and he like inserted that extra shot of me.
I love that extra shot
because like it's just like there had to be another reason they made Ricky look like a complete asshole.
Of you just standing there
whatever.
like. Just standing there.
We can swear.
Menacingly.
I love that extra shot of you. You're just like hunched over.
Right. Perfect
It's a
reaction
great
shot. I thought actually I also really enjoyed how much of the cartoony reaction shots he used from you.
Yeah, me too.
I don't feel like you normally do go.
He
for
actually
that.
he gave me options. He was like, I labeled the kind of ridiculous ones, but I put other less ridiculous ones underneath in case you want to change them. And I was like, I'm not changing any of this. This is all perfect.
Quit eating the floor.
No, Ricky, it's my house and I'll do what I want.
All right.
You can't see this, but I'm eating my floor that's definitely belonging to me.
You don't know.
What? Oh, also I gave myself a raise out of the current
Fucking
budget.
finally.
Scandalous,
Yay.
but I have finally upped myself from $25,000 a year,
Beautifully done.
which I think was less than I was making at my editing job
Right, definitely.
4 years ago.
Yeah.
So yeah, we now have like a
Livable wage?
an income that doesn't require that we like budget out how many groceries we can buy every month.
2 tomatoes
Big
fine,
yikes.
3 tomatoes not. I've done that before.
So hopefully it stays up enough that we can do that. There's also incentive for you and Matt to keep making them funny because otherwise we don't have enough money to pay you. So.
Yeah.
me too. But
Back to Uber.
I guess.
Back to
Yours is less at least. You're like
No,
easier
it's
to
true.
keep
No,
on.
actually, well, I mean, mine is low enough that you can definitely tell that it's just kind of nice for me. So like, if you just stop paying me, I'd be like, in a couple months from
you
now,
still
I'd be
have an income aside
well,
from
yeah,
that.
like it'd just be like, hey, it's cool if you don't pay me, but it'd be cool if you did,
Right.
Which is what I
Yeah.
just did like a week ago. So
You should have money coming in tomorrow, by the way. I
I
think.
got money today. So,
Okay,
hey.
cool.
cool.
But yeah, that's what's going on over here, all because of your donations. So thank you to all the new people and everybody who upped their donations. It's really awesome. We've been going off the exact same amount of money for like 2 years, so it's really cool having it go up and being able to sort of expand stuff. Because we've also been just generally trying to like figure out how to YouTube better. Because we've been doing it wrong for a
Okay,
long time,
I
and
would
that's
like to
90% to 100% my fault.
I'm gonna make a stand here. We're not learning how to YouTube better. We're learning how to video worse, which is like you can say like that's YouTubing better, but it definitely needs sarcastic square.
I don't know, because you say that, but like the video that came out today, even with your shots out of focus, is at least on par with like most of the 2017 videos. Like even when we don't put effort into it now, it never reduces all the way back to 2015.
Well, sure,
and
that's
even
true,
those were better than videos people put out now when they have millions of subscribers.
It's a mistaken like argument though, right? Because like this is laying on the still warm corpse of everything we did for the past 5 years leading up to this as like kind of peeking our head and shoulders up. If we hadn't done that, this video would not have been that good.
I'd like to say that all of the one shots have been phenomenal view-wise comparatively to other videos we have.
I've been saying this for a long time. We've been putting in too much effort. I am very proud of what we've done. Too much of.
We haven't put in too much effort. We're still allocating the same amount of effort, but we're allocating it differently.
Yeah, I would say that's probably accurate. We're definitely like trying to figure out how to like. So our biggest weaknesses have always been marketing, and pretty much any kind of like PR, not PR necessarily, but just like making money and marketing have always been the things that I haven't been very good at, and so we're trying to figure out how to get better at those while still maintaining an expected level of quality that we've established on the channel.
Brad and I both very, very much lean very strongly into the artist problem, which is maybe good at expressing things creatively. I say may. Definitely not good at monetizing that.
Right. But I've also been getting disillusioned and angry over the last couple of years.
That's the other kind of artist problem.
So I'm getting more to the point of of just like trying to figure out how to. Well, I've definitely separated artistic integrity from YouTube at this point. YouTube is a platform that doesn't give a crap about anybody that's on it, and I feel like treating YouTube as if it deserves artistic integrity is giving it way too much credit. So it's not that I want to reduce the artistic integrity.
Are you going to let him do Cobra Kai like that?
Cobra Kai is a masterpiece, and YouTube.
But YouTube doesn't get credit for that. That's my point.
Bad.
Didn't they pay for it?
But
they may have paid for it. They still don't get credit for it being good.
I mean, I guess. But it's weird, right? Like, does the gallery of painting hang in have an artistic integrity?
Well, here's the thing, though, is that like Cobra Kai is now going free on YouTube.
That's a good question, actually. I think that's actually a good comparison.
Well,
and no, right?
Louvre,
you wouldn't.
The Louvre.
Sure.
The Louvre itself is a piece of art that houses art.
Actually,
Sure.
I've significantly changed my opinion on this after a large Reddit thread that I was a part of a couple months back.
I'm curious.
There's a painting called Three Oranges.
Neat.
It is sketched by what is probably a 3-year-old.
Cool.
It is 3 circles, and it was posted in some sort of incredibly prestigious art museum.
Yeah.
And it was posted on the subreddit Delusion Artist or something like that.
Delusion Artists.
Yeah, Delusional Artist.
I love that one.
Me too, big fan. And all the comments were like, you don't know what art is. This has significant meaning. There's a lot more behind it than just the technical work for it. How could this be bad if a prestigious art museum put it in their thing? And I'm like,
Okay.
yo, it's just bad.
Yeah.
It's just a bad thing. You can pretend it means something, but that's 3 poorly drawn circles on a sheet of paper, and then an art museum put it up, and they were like, it means something. So to the argument, does it have... not integrity, but does it have like agency? I guess so, because a lot of people use that as a measurement of whether or not 3 circles is art.
I think that's a bad argument, but
So I argue
I
this
think it's pretty
actually a lot. I get
comparable.
into these sort of arguments decently enough about like what is value, especially like coming from like business and really a lot from MTG finance stuff, especially in trading. And it's just like if you get up a few dollars in a trade, it's just like, well, you just traded your $5 piece of cardboard for their $10 pieces of cardboard. Don't you feel bad? And I'm like, the cardboard has no value. The cardboard is given value because people give it value. So
right. Well, that's the commodities.
Well, I think specifically in the context of like the platform, though, I do think what you're talking about, Allison, has like
we're talking about art
is important because but art.
I think it's
We're talking about art and
comparable.
its relationship to the
thing that
distributor
hosts it.
or the thing that you like hold in it.
Yeah,
Like,
actually, maybe is like we could say maybe not a museum because there's a lot of history that goes into that. And there's a lot of it is an analogy.
You just like the platform of YouTube,
but like maybe it's worth comparing to like a studio. Like, does WB have artistic integrity?
right, or would you fault something? Nobody would like fault a movie that came out that they didn't like because it was doing disservice to the studio of WB.
Although
right?
actually,
like,
this is why Disney has so many imprints. Like Miramax is a Disney imprint, so they can put things with blood out.
sure, right, because they don't want their name being messed with. Yeah,
Which is
that
a weird
makes sense.
point. This is relevant because that's half of YouTube's problem is their name is on things, right?
Right. But I guess what my problem was I had a very and I don't regret anything that we've done so far, but my main focus was like I was putting a lot of weight on the artistic integrity of the sketches we were making because I valued them very highly. And I still am glad about what we made, and I don't
Sure.
again I don't
our
regret
sketches
any of
are
that.
still art.
But and I agree. I think they still are, and I think the other things we're doing are the thing that I ended up settling on was in my head. It was like selling it as like there's this expectation of like I owe it to the format almost that like I need to put this effort in. And I've seen other people. It's definitely a fine line because some people definitely just abuse the hell out of YouTube and the format, but
Right.
some people just use it. And I don't think you can fault anybody for using the platform
Absolutely
for what
not.
it has decided that it is, because
Sure.
YouTube does not deserve to be treated as if it is anything
Worth something
other
to live up to?
Right, worth anything other than what it has decided to be. I guess.
That's
is what it is.
okay. I
we're still not
agree on all that.
we're still not putting less effort.
No, we're not. We're just doing
into-
things like including
right.
ads or following trends,
Or,
and
well,
that's
like, I
just
think-
the way YouTube goes. And I don't think
That's just how
I don't think that speaks badly
comedy
to us
goes.
anymore.
I also think we're allocating energy differently. Like we're doing this so that what
Everything's fine.
So
That was just the microphone slamming into Allison's face. It's
Everything's
fine.
fine.
Looks like a fun time.
It's gonna happen to me at some point.
Kyle, you're now working so much more on the guards themselves.
Well, I need to be.
Right. Okay. That's theoretically
Right.
this is why this is happening.
Right.
And then because we were talking about during the discussions on what to evolve the channel into. I really enjoy the level of artistic integrity and effort and boundary pushing we can put into sketches. I never personally had a emotional investment with YouTube as a platform. I know that
Sure,
you started off that way. And that's a big part of why.
Yeah, because I had romanticized a certain era of
YouTubers
it that
and
had
things, yeah.
died by the time I even started.
Right.
So it was
But
long gone. Before.
I was
YouTube
super
is
happy that
trash.
what we've been doing with a sketch comedy because I want to apply that to bigger things.
Yeah, I agree too. Like,
That just don't
that's
fit on
why
YouTube at all.
that's why I don't think it any of the past stuff doesn't lose value because it exists as its own thing independent of YouTube. We could take it off YouTube and it still exists. And also it helped us learn how to do the stuff we're doing now.
Right.
So that value doesn't go away. It just isn't actually intrinsically linked to YouTube as a platform at all.
Sure.
Which I think is important, and it's weird for me too because I don't feel like I feel the same way about Newgrounds, weirdly, but I should theoretically. Like it should be the same thing. The platform shouldn't really give weight to it.
I guess it comes down to Newgrounds is hosting something specific. It's a curated thing, right? This is also the difference between say the Louvre and YouTube is YouTube is not curated. YouTube
Right.
is the monetization can be curated, but you have to be good enough to get into the Louvre, or you have to be a specific kind of thing.
That's true.
Newgrounds was YouTube is just you got video file, we will play your video file if somebody has a link to it.
Right.
The Louvre is Disney Plus.
Not bad. Okay, things that may be overvalued but definitely have a lot of sentimental attraction.
Yes, exactly.
and an infinite amount of polish.
Yeah, I guess.
And your local art museum is like Hulu with ads. It's
So,
affordable.
Speaking of,
I've had way more fun at my local art museums than I ever had at the Louvre.
Exactly. I have way more fun on Hulu than I could have watching
Yeah, but
20,000 Leagues Under the Sea from Disney.
imagine you're at your local art museum, right? But the guy who's like, "Can I help you?" and spits on your neck a little wasn't there. Would you enjoy your local art museum more?
No, he's part of the
Okay, well,
aesthetic.
If you want to live, I think you just remember the '90s
I don't
and
re-
watching Nickelodeon, where literally 40% of the content was commercials, and that's just been missing from your life.
I don't remember
It's
that
really
at the
true,
local art
though,
museum.
I really could, I can and do sometimes just put on hour-long blocks of just old movie trailers and old ads sometimes. And it's really part from if you go to Alamo Drafthouse, which you guys don't have, or maybe you do, maybe you live in Texas, if you're one of the lucky few.
Didn't it start expanding outside of Texas
I
now?
think it's got a couple.
But anyways, at the Alamo Drafthouse, you can go 30 minutes before the show, and they will generally have very curated ads.
Sure.
It's
about
content
whatever.
showcase.
Yeah, you're going to go, if you're going to go see Spider-Man, you're going to go and you're going to see a bunch of 60s and 70s toy ads for Spider-Man.
Some of those weird Japanese
and then
Spider-Man
some
commercials. Yeah.
weird experimental short film about Spider-Man, and then you're gonna watch some meme about Spider-Man, and then more toy commercials for Spider-Man.
Right.
And that sort of stuff I think is great. I think that we
the Alamo is
should.
definitely part of the experience, and I do like the idea of that. Well, that's why, and if we do ads for our channel, I definitely want it to be more like that.
Right, and shout outs to Internet Common Etiquette, a great channel. But his ads are so unique and really funny. And I think ads have sort of become worse because you don't have to watch them anymore. As weird as that sounds, you feel now that you can skip ads and do all these things to ads that you would want to try, you would need to try harder to make your ad good. But now it's just all about, well, we know they can't skip in the first 5 seconds, so we're just gonna info dump.
Right, it's
on 5 seconds.
You get streamers and things to live ad but before we get to the final bit, here's my ad because they're holding the content hostage with things you can't skip.
Right.
Which makes sense.
What are we comparing again right now?
Hulu.
We're on a bunch of tangents right now. I think,
Actually, I have a new tangent because that's the name of the show.
accidentally all of them actually.
Which is
Oops, all
I
berries.
vaguely remember a podcast or something where Robert Benfer, the guy that made the Clay World series, talked about going to an Alamo Draft House and one of his videos played in front of the movie. I don't remember which
Did
movie
he know that was
was
going to happen?
No, it just happened while he was there, and it just
We should
like was the weirdest
contact
thing.
Alamo Draft House and get our Pokemon movie in front of the next.
Is this a movie now?
Oh, sorry.
I mean, I'm all in. I can reprise this character. So he has a backstory.
I was gonna say the question I was gonna ask was, what was the most surreal thing any of you guys have experienced so far from the channel?
It is 180% sitting down in the first day that Havan and Jim were on set.
Okay, yeah.
And we're just sitting there and just listening to them flawlessly pull off their back and forth scene from the Skyvault pilot.
That's a good one.
Without us ever having met them before.
Yeah,
It was super weird.
It is really weird watching characters that have only existed in your head suddenly like appear in front of you.
Right. Like practiced and polished in a way that I couldn't ever do.
I talked to the TV man that I watch every week. He came to San Antonio.
That is
He
true.
said, "Gee, Texas sure is weird. You guys are cool. I love your videos. Me and my wife put you guys on our television."
He's talking about the professor, just for anybody who
And he
doesn't know what's
was,
going on.
we are his TV man.
Yeah,
and he's
right.
my TV man.
That is weird.
and that is
that's
really
gotta be
odd.
weird. I had a similar thing when we went to the Augscast office, just because it was like a fictional location from a TV show or something, and I just went and stepped onto it, and all the characters were in the set.
You know-
and I got
Yeah.
to talk to some of them, and that was weird, and some of them were like, "Hey, I know who you are." I was like, that doesn't make any sense. I was watching you when I was in high school.
I have zero starstruck moments like that because I don't follow anything really like that. Like,
Yeah.
I haven't met anybody and been like, oh my god, you know who I am.
Yeah.
But probably most similar would be the first fan meetup we did in England.
Okay, yeah,
And
where we just walked into the church.
I just
and they
I
were
just
like,
walked into a room of people who clapped, and I'm like looking at
was
these
weird.
idiots like,
Oh, right, yeah.
what? And they're like, we're so happy you're here, and I'm like, why? And then they were already playing our videos on a big screen. There was a dude there to interview you, and then they all wanted to come up, and then some dude named Burnt L was there, and I was like, oh, holy shit.
Yeah, no, that was surreal for sure.
That was probably the most
that might
surreal
actually
moment I've
one
had.
of my high ones. Now that you mention it,
Because I didn't know. I feel kind of bad because I don't know. We met Mark, and I didn't know who that was, and I'm like, hey, stranger.
Yeah.
And then we met the Yogs cast, and I was like, I don't know who y'all are. Hey, strangers. And then we met Brian from the Talarian
community.
community. Yeah. And I didn't know who that was, and I just don't have these
yeah.
people that I looked up to as inspiration for all of this stuff. They're all just really nice people that I've met along the way, so I don't have these like.
We'll go find Shane Dawson.
Let's not.
I would not have any starstruck moment over
find
Shane
out.
Dawson.
Well, it's weird because like you always talk about all these people, like these YouTubers, as your heroes. Like if I met
Yeah.
Robert Benfer in person, I'm pretty sure what I would feel is awkward.
Sorry, Robert Benfer is not my hero.
No, every night he goes to bed, he's like, if only I could be more like Robert Benfer.
I would still like to
but
meet him. Robert Benfer got me into making
Right.
videos, so he does get that credit.
I'm
at
really
least.
just using him as a name
Yeah.
for all the ones I can't remember better. What in the similar to y'all's fan meetup? This because I guess we've been to one fan meetup. We had the one at Nightwatch.
We got to the Nightwatch one, yeah.
That
when
was
we were
great.
at I guess it was Alamo City Comic Con, the one.
Oh, yeah.
And we y'all were dressed as River and the Doctor,
Yeah.
and everybody's like, "Oh hey, it's the Doctor! Oh hey, it's River! Oh hey!" And then somebody stops and goes, "Oh hey, you're a door monster!"
Oh, yeah.
Instead,
Yeah.
and that was Carolyn.
That was Carolyn, yeah.
But it was
sort
like
of
that was super weird and surreal.
Oh yeah, Carolyn. That's right. That was the first time we met Carolyn.
Also surreal, I would like to say, getting back from Skyvault, and then like a week later, getting a paycheck from Skyvault, and then going, huh, I could graduate and just take a job in some stupid ass office, or I could try real hard and see if I can make money with Kyle. That was pretty surreal.
Hey.
Let Kyle's dream bitch you, yeah.
Speaking of like slightly surreal, John just asked me how I feel about fans using your wedding pictures as memes, and then he sent me this wedding picture. He sent me this meme picture, I guess. Here, send that
Yeah, we've
over.
had that happen a couple times.
It's the picture of you and Rachel holding hands over the table.
I feel like there's no way
a great
around
picture.
this. So
I mean,
Right.
I have it on the website and stuff, and
Yeah.
I'm
Oh,
not.
it's actually just a Civ meme, though.
Yeah, it's a it's a Civ meme. Like the memes itself, like I mean, it's fine.
That's how you know you've made it in life, though, once you're being memed.
I agree.
All right, I'll take it. I
I
will
mean-
take that. I think this is great. And there's
Yeah.
definitely lines where this would be creepy. This isn't it yet.
I agree. I mean,
That
yeah,
is surreal.
people could start
That's
making.
surreal.
fake
Are you
movies.
surreal about that?
So, that was the other thing. I keep getting hung up on this word surreal. Just the one other weird thing that happened. Remember that one time that Weeble interviewed us?
Yeah.
Because I don't frequently. Like, we just, like, had
don't know who that
a
is.
pleasant conversation and got, like, were recorded by the Badgers guy.
Right.
Like, you know
There's a
how
few
many
things like
hours
that.
of my life I've spent listening to that song? It's too many.
Yeah.
It's way too many.
Do you remember how we randomly have talked to the head animator of BoJack Horseman?
I met him when he was just a person at the Newgrounds event, and
And
we
we
just kinda,
interviewed him after season 1 of BoJack Horseman.
He wasn't the head
Before it
animator.
took off.
He was just an animator on BoJack Horseman. He
Oh.
wasn't the head.
He was
but
the background
he
animator.
was
You
the head
remember?
animator of Tuca and Birdie, the new series that came out, which was interesting as well. He got hired on for that.
That
I
is
remember he was the
interesting.
background editor or the background animator because he was talking about all the jokes he likes to hide in the back.
Yeah.
That's kind of
Um,
cool.
Yeah, no, I have enjoyed also watching the people that I met at Newgrounds develop into like full-fledged careers and stuff. Like Rice Pirate is now just like a prolific voice actor, and
I need celebrity heroes. I don't have
Be
any.
your own celebrity hero.
I was gonna say I
Thanks.
could be your celebrity hero.
Maybe one day, Ricky, when you're all grown up.
Oh, man. One day when I'm a real boy.
Yeah, like I would obviously be stoked to meet Auntie Donna. That would make my whole life, in a
Oh my
way.
God. If they weren't in Australia and it costs
They came
Yeah.
here.
Australia
We were
dollars.
busy.
Yeah, well, they were touring too.
That's the thing. We've just been doing this wrong somehow, though, because even Ollie can afford to just fly to America sometimes.
I don't know how
He's
that works,
one
though.
guy.
I
He's
know
one guy,
he is
but-
one guy, but I still just. I think we're figuring it out, and I think this time next year we're gonna be in a very different position than
I
we
think
are
the
now.
thing we did wrong was our mindset was about 10 years later than the actual
we're
platform
fine.
that we were on.
I think you're right. Yeah, I
And
think
so now we're catching
we
up
just
to modern
wanted
times. But
our
everyone else who's
expectations were off.
joined, Ollie and everyone else that is like kind of in the YouTube scene right now, joined at the, mindset equal to time
Right.
period of YouTube.
Right.
And that's the only difference, and we're catching up, and that's all that matters.
Yeah,
So
it's been helpful talking to all of them too. Like that's
Next
another reason I
year-
just want to make contacts, because talking to other YouTubers, we don't get to do that ever. No one else
Yeah.
has our job. Like we
Right.
can't go like.
right.
Well, and I think people in LA get to talk to each other all the time because they're right there.
Yeah.
But we're the only ones here. So
That's the whole idea behind LA is like, what if we just put everybody I need to talk to within 5
Right.
miles and it took 6 hours?
still
to get there
not
anyway?
worth it. We're still never going there.
Yeah.
But
This is see that's the problem you're talking about.
I know,
That's
I know, but she's with me on this one, so that one's gonna take a long time to fix.
I have no particular desire to go to LA.
When I say never, we are going to don the hazmat suits for one weekend and go in for VidCon next year. That is a plan currently. And we aren't happy about it, but we're gonna try.
like, we're already
I
making
swear to
like
God,
big,
the one year we
like-
go, someone's going to shoot up VidCon.
No, don't say that.
There was a shooting this
Now we're
morning in
liable.
California.
Not at a convention. There was a very different shooting.
I'm pretty sure I could just throw a dart at a map and a shooting could happen.
No!
Don't do that
This
thing.
is a bad tangent.
Worst superpower.
Oops, all tangents.
I don't even think this is this. It
Thanks
was
for
literally.
listening, everybody. We're gonna go ahead and call it there and move on to the
Yeah,
next
we're gonna go
episode.
throw darts apparently at maps and hope they land in the ocean.
See you in a couple.
Mass devastation. Or Oklahoma.
The ocean's already dying, so we can't be blamed for that one.
Yeah.
See y'all in a couple weeks, everybody. Bye.
And see you in actually a couple of minutes. I'm gonna record